Welcome to another episode of On the Capo Stand. I am your host David, alongside with our good friend John. John, how you doing?
Good, David. How are you?
Doing fantastic once again in a poorly lit, cheap New England hotel. Thankfully, last week of this madness. Yesterday, I went to the game. We're obviously gonna talk about that. Super hot, super humid. Only a Floridian and a Gator will feel at home on that one. And then your boy had to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, catch a flight, and it's 9 o'clock, and my body's letting me know that I'm about to shut down as soon as we finish this podcast. With that said, a different day, obviously, because we had a game Saturday, a game Tuesday, and we wanted to basically cover both. Reminding you that next week we're back on Mondays. It's gonna be John and a guest hosting. I will be on vacation. May pop in. You never know. But for the most part, John is gonna be hosting. So let's go ahead and support John and show him the love that you have shown us all along. John, let's go. Let's go right to it, brother. Let's go to this past Saturday against Chicago at home. Full house. I went with my kids and my nephew. We had a great time. Orlando City getting the win and showing that we can win at home. And on top of that, the fact that the fan base looks super pumped, super excited, and I have to tell you this: it's been a while since the last time we had a Saturday night like that, and I'm super excited. And I thank everybody that showed up to the game to support the boys. John, impressions about the game?
Yeah, I mean, we came out firing, absolutely firing. I mean, Chicago had their chances as well. Late in the first half of 38th, 39th minute, Torres puts the header in, good run of play before the goal. Torres jumped out of his shoes and headed one with pace, a tough one to put with pace, into the back of the net from, I don't know, 10 yards out or so. And then we open up 10 minutes into the second half, and we get a penalty, and we're up 2-0. Everybody's cheering, feeling good about themselves. And then shortly after we go up 2-0, there's a penalty called. It was definitely a penalty on us. And Chicago gets a penalty kick and goes 2-1. And I even texted David during the game, and I said, "Oh, here we go again." This would have been two home matches in a row. We were up 2-0 early in the first half, and we were going to, give it up. And it honestly felt like that. We held on. Chicago got a double yellow. One of their players got a double yellow, got sent off. And
Mm-hmm.
then Enrique opened up his account with one of the funniest, quirkiest, most different plays you'll see, where he's running onto the ball and then realizes he's offsides, peels off just in the nick of time for him not to be called offsides. Lets Angulo get it. Angulo passes the ball back to him because Enrique was now on sides. Enrique goes around the one defender and then hits an absolute screamer low into the far post for his first Orlando City goal. Torres had a couple chances to get a hat trick. That would have been our first since 2015. Overall, it was a fun night. 3-1 against a lesser club, and a game that we honestly, you know, except for the penalty, beat them off the field. Um, I felt really good after the win. Felt positive. Brought a coworker of mine and his wife. Obviously, they greatly enjoyed it. Brought them tailgating off before the match, and then they enjoyed the match as well. They said they definitely want to come back. It helps when three
That's
goals are
great.
scored and it's not the 0-0 or 1-1 draw. like we were seeing a lot at the beginning of the year. So that was a good match.
No, absolutely. Facundo Torres with opening the score on the 38th minute. Unfortunate penalty for Chicago. Could have happened just to anybody. Unfortunate deflection, hand in the box, penalty any day. And then after that, Ramiro Enrique, I'm sorry, with Aguilazo. Live, I was watching the game with our good friend Kevin Reese, Steven H. Ultra, and also Orlando City UK member. I was surprised to see him there. He said that he had told me that he was coming, but I didn't. Somehow I missed that message. And when he happened, I was like, what is he doing? Is he talking tactics or what? Because I mean, basically, it looked as he lets the ball go, goes talks to Angulo, and Angulo saves the ball maybe a foot away from going for a goal kick, and passes the ball back to him, and he just puts it on the far post. I mean, it was just beautiful. And that was it. That was it. We defeated the Chicago Fire. Chicago Fire that is still on their a caretaker manager. Is suffering. It's really really bad. Right now, a team that is paying $8 million to a player that has absolutely done nothing for it. Had lost a lot of talent. For those that were wanting to see Chris Mueller, unfortunately, he's out for the season, hip surgery. So there you go. That's pretty much it. I think that the attendance to me was impressive. 22,000. I think the people are responding, John.
Yeah.
We're winning. They want to see their team. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. We have a comment here, real quick.
Enrique Suave says, "Sup guys? How's
What's
it going?"
happening, my friend? Thank you for watching. I know our live audience is gonna be a little smaller because obviously we are not on our regular time, and that's okay. So thank you guys for choosing to be with us. So that was that. Okay, so we win 3-1. Of course, the one goal for Chicago was an unfortunate penalty that we conceded. We spent 2 days of rest, and this past Tuesday, last night, we faced Toronto FC, another club that fired their manager, and this was a feast, John. Before you give us your comments and impressions of the game, I want to recount the goal scorers. Cesar Araujo on the 16th minute with a beautiful goal and an assist by Rafa Santos, which in my opinion should have been the man of the match. Then Duncan Maguire making a case why this man is going to win the SP award for best college soccer player, in my opinion. This kid, John, I see a national team future with him if he continues this way. The fact that he cost us nothing and that other teams passed on this stallion says a lot. And then my man DDT putting a filthy, filthy, filthy goal, bypassing the former Lion Greg Richardson, and just scoring on a gaping open goal. Something that our captain needs to practice over and over when he finds himself in front of goal. And last but not least, Erchan Kara, and we're gonna talk about our friend Erchan Kara in a minute. We just want to get over the particulars because today we're gonna concentrate on rumors and things that are happening. So with that said, John, your impressions about the game?
Yeah, I mean, Toronto is missing 9 men coming into it. missing their best player, Insigne, or arguably their best player, because of a knock that he took. So going into it, I'm like, we should easily win this. We should, it should be 2-0, 3-0. We know how this team likes to play. If we score three, we'll be lucky. We haven't scored more than 3 goals since August, I think it was, of last season. Haven't scored it at all this year. So yeah, go into it. We come out firing again, 2 matches in a row. Get up 2-0 in the first half. Looking really good. Toronto threatened a little bit, not near as much as Chicago did. But going into half feeling really good. Come out in the second half, and then it's not that we sat back. We just got unlucky. The team that got unlucky couldn't find the back of the net the first 30 minutes or so. And then can't remember his name, gets his second yellow card of the half, gets sent off. So once again at home, we're playing up a man, and we put the last 2 nails in the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the pass from Angulo to Dagger Dan was, he hits it a foot
Same.
further. It's the keeper gets it. He hits it a foot short. DDT has to slow down, and the defender catches up with him. I mean, he put that on a platter. Uh, Dagger Dan did what he had to do. Just got a little touch on it around the keeper, and then passed it into the back of the net. The funny thing about it is the post goal expected goal, because of where he shot it and the angle he shot it, was a point
Mm-hmm.
one. I just thought that was funny when I saw the analytics this morning. Yeah, and then Ojeda's proven us wrong. Starting to prove us wrong. Had several solid games and a couple solid games in a row. Kind of gets a tough pass at the top of the 18. Kind of fumbles it a little bit, and then Kara made a perfect run, and Ojeda saw him, gave him a back heel. Kara one touched it right into the back of the net, just a screamer into the back of the net for our fourth goal. And just like Saturday in Chicago, we could have had more than four. We could have potentially scored four in the first half. We had uh, Mauricio missed another sitter. Um, and McGuire almost had a first half brace, had one ricochet hard off
Yes.
the far post. So that could have almost been 4 goals in the first half there. And the run of play to that first goal was something very pretty. Angulo making Toronto's defense look silly, hitting the overlap for once of um, Santos, and Santos putting a one-touch cross in, and we actually having somebody on the weak post late, there to finish it up, and Angulo put a very paced header into the back of the net that the keeper stood no chance against. So yeah, overall good result. We did these 2 games, like I said last week, what we had to do, which was beat them and beat them soundly. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
statement. And we did that. Came out with 6 points. Told David after the show, I said, these next 2 matches, at this point in the season, are about as much of must-win matches as you can, because of who we're playing, our position on the table, all of that. So now, we've got 2 matches, and then Leagues Cup, 2 tough matches, 2 away matches against playoff teams, and then we get about a month off for Leagues Cup, and then it's back to the MLS season. So depending on what we do these next 2 matches, we could potentially be looking at a third or fourth place, Orlando City team
Mm-hmm.
heading into the month break for Leagues Cup.
No, absolutely, and obviously we're gonna be talking about it later. But Salt Lake, in my opinion, is a great test for our team. We haven't played in Salt Lake City since 2017. We're gonna be dealing with the altitude, the heat of the desert. It's gonna be a good test. And then after that, we're gonna go to Atlanta, a place where our only victory happened during COVID. There was no fans, And one of the things that I keep saying is you gotta beat this team. You can't continue to get leads, let them score, equalize, and then going home feeling like they win. You cannot continue to do that or losing 1-0. That has been the history between Orlando City
Mhm.
and Atlanta for years. It's time to start beating a team that, in all honesty, on paper, it's beneath what Orlando City has on attacking power. But with that said, let's move to the rumors and everything that's going on. The feel good Kool Aid. Before going to do that, I want to thank everybody that is watching us live. I want to remind everybody that we are live on Twitch at On the Capo Stand, at On the Capo Stand on YouTube, at David's Channel 76 on YouTube, at On the Capo Stand in Instagram, and On the Capo Stand podcast on Facebook. So you can watch us in all those platforms. And this is the thing. There's a rumor going around from sources that will remain nameless that say that Junior Urso is looking at a return to MLS. Orlando City is one of the teams in contention, but DC United and LAFC also want to sign the prolific Brazilian. Why is Junior Urso back? Well, we were told that we were terminating his contract at his request because he has some issues. He wanted to go home. It was never explained the situation. I think it probably has resolved because obviously he wants to come back. He's a free agent at the moment. And also, he had said to close friends that back in Brazil, the guy couldn't go to church, couldn't go to the store without being mobbed by fans, and he was not happy because he was not having a regular life like the one that he had here in Orlando. And that doesn't mean that in Orlando people are not fans. It's just that in Orlando, let's say we tend to give them space. We tend to respect their space. And I'm gonna say it. Miguel Gallardo lives by my mother-in-law's house, and I run into Miguel Gallardo at Publix all the time. I just don't have to go every single time and go, "Oh my God, I love you. You're the best. You're a legend." Just leave the man alone. You know what I mean? The guy just wants to get eggs and bacon and you know what I'm saying, bagels in the morning. He doesn't need for myself to go and tell him he's a legend. He knows. So and that's the situation. That's why the players love it here, because I remember talking to Facundo Torres' dad, where he said that Facundo could not go anywhere in Montevideo. He said that if they went to a restaurant, that man will take 2 bites of his steak, a cold one, by the way, because people are asking for pictures, asking, say, happy birthday to my dog. I mean, like, it was insane. You know, at some point, you have to find a happy medium, because if you say no to the request, you're a bad guy. And if you say yes to, they're never gonna leave you alone. So that's the situation with Urso. That he wants to come back. If we don't get him, which will be a tragedy in my opinion, is not all is lost, because we still own his MLS rights, and that means we make money out of the deal, just like we did with Chris Mueller. The other one is at the game, the eternal captain of this club, Nani, was present. He posted on his IG. He's super excited. 37 years old. So obviously, Father Time is knocking on the door. And I dare to say, I will take him on a Pato deal. I will take him on a Pato deal. I will bring him as a super sub. Let that legend play his last game on the pitch. Nani doesn't deserve to call it quits on the sidelines. I think that will be a disgrace if that happened. So that's what's going on. And also, before I give the microphone to John, because he's gonna be talking about some interesting stuff for you guys. Everybody that was on the south side last night. So Urchin Kara, mean mugging on the sideline, acting like he wanted to be anywhere but there. Duncan McGuire gets off the field. All the subs congratulate him, shake his hand. He went to shake Kara's hand, and Kara pretended that he was not there. He just like looked through the kid, and that's it. You can't get mad at anybody but yourself if you're losing your starting spot. If you're not living up to the hype, you gotta get mad at yourself, Urchin. What you did was classless, and you know what? I've been defending you because I live by the belief that as long as you wear our colors and you go out there and to play for our club, that it's bad to criticize you. But you're not gonna treat your teammates, who obviously everybody gets along great regardless of how many minutes they play. You're gonna treat them like that. You had a pity goal, and the reaction of your teammates was very lukewarm, and that already tells me that they're ready for you to move on. And obviously, you don't want to be here. So we wish you well. I hope that Orlando City can find a solution for this young man, because he has given up. He has quit. He has quit. And the last thing that we need in our club is somebody that just gives up. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I mean, with Kara, I'd already a lot of us, I feel like, already had the feeling or was told or knew or however you want to put it that the club was going to be shopping him around this July, seeing what they could get for him, seeing if they wouldn't lose too much money for him. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, at this point, I think based on what we've seen and how Duncan's came in, it is best for us to part ways with him because he's not putting in half the effort that McGuire is um, on a game to game basis. Period. I mean, Duncan could come in for 20, 30 minutes and you know really put in more effort than Kara did for the 60 or 70 minutes. So I won't be surprised if we sell him. That opens up a DP spot for us to potentially make another good signing. Honestly, with the way this team is and as good as this team is, it has been playing for the last little bit, um, albeit against lesser talent or lesser skilled teams. It's kind of who do you want to see replaced? Unfortunately, the one I see being replaced first would be somebody on the left wing. Angulo's spot. I love Angulo. This isn't a knock on Angulo, but you want your DPS to be attackers. They're not gonna, get somebody to replace Pereira as more of an attacking mid. Torres could play attacking mid if Pereira goes down with a knock. He proved that about a month and a half ago. So yeah, and as far as Urso and Nani goes, obviously they're if we do sign them, if Nani does come here, does decide he doesn't just want to retire because no, you can't go on a soccer vacation for 8 months and get paid for it. Um, it would be bench rolls. I wouldn't mind seeing them as some sort of glorified substitutes, if you will, kind of a mix, player coach type of deal. Be there for the young guys because we do have a pretty young team. Um, be there for the young guys, teach them professionalism, teach them all that stuff. You got two very professional soccer players there, and Urso and Nani to teach that. But yeah, our current form, like we mentioned, has been decent. It's in my opinion, it's been less than it should be because the last since May 13th, we have played five playoff games or playoff teams. Sorry, five playoff teams. We have played against two of them. have been full squads. 3 of them were not. And of those full squads, we won one and tied one. Columbus and even New England was actually short staffed. So I mean, yeah, the all the people want to sit there and criticize us because the club's won a couple games here recently. We haven't lost in 7 matches or whatever it is. Or yeah, no, haven't lost. We've had points, but to be honest with you, they haven't been against anybody. We have wins against our wins over that time span were Miami, a depleted Red Bulls, Colorado, and then Chicago and Toronto. One playoff team, which is New York. New York was missing players because of international duty. So anybody that I'm not trying to discount, what we've done, what the team's done in the last month and a half, 2 months. But the people that want to come out on Twitter and make fun of, the people that said Poppy out 2 months ago, we're still Poppy out. We'll be Poppy out until we make noise in the playoffs, because he's not getting hired back unless they make noise in the playoffs. That's the deal. You guys can gloat all you want.
Those are facts. They already had
Yeah.
the meeting. We already told you about it.
Yeah, exactly. And this isn't something where David and I were going to sit here and he gets fired, 2 months ago when we were so outspoken about it. We said on the show, we hope he proves us wrong. We hope the team starts winning. We hope they figure it out. And for these fans, supposed supporters of the club, it seems like you're more worried about being right or wrong than the club doing well. All David and I want to do is to see the club do well. All David and I want to see us do is lift trophies, Champions League appearances, win the Champions League eventually, which we're still, a couple years off from competing for that, if we can make it back into the Champions League, or Champions Cup as they call it now. But this isn't about who's right, who's wrong. This is about the team doing better. This is a team that's playing with a lot of confidence. They look the best that they've looked all year. I like the direction they're heading. If we can get, in my opinion, if we can win one of these games and draw one of these next two against Salt Lake and Atlanta, awesome. Great. The team's winning. Like I said before, we could be as high, potentially, depending on other results. If we get 4 points, we could realistically be in and sitting alone in third or fourth place, I believe it was. So, let's take the victories as they are. Let's take the draws as they are. Let's take a step back and take a realist look at it. Don't let our hearts get in the way. Use our heads. Yes, the team's playing better, but we still haven't beaten anybody.
No, absolutely.
We can beat Salt Lake, we can beat Atlanta at their place. That's beating somebody. That's doing a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can, then you can gloat a little bit. But let's just take a pause on that.
Before I give you my opinion, John, if you can read some of these comments.
Yeah. William Aguilar says they should sell Carr and give the DP spot to Gillespie. We already got Gillespie on what, 2 years?
Gillespie, it's
2 years with the third option.
Yeah, it's like $900K. So yeah. I honestly, I wouldn't give him a DP. He's where he's at. Mm-hmm. I think the DP spot should go to a proven striker. We can talk about that in a minute. Next comment.
Mariko Suave, very disappointing to hear about Kara. I always defended him, but if he's killing the locker room vibe, he has to go. Selling him opens a DP and international slot, so it makes the most sense.
Okay, and then the last one.
Jim D. Been a while, Jim, that I've seen you.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for joining us tonight. But we were smacking around lesser teams, which we used to not do in the past. Mm-hmm. These would have been draws or Poppy specials. So it is a step in the right direction. Exactly. That's what I said. We're in the right direction. We're looking good, but we still really haven't accomplished anything yet. We're just looking better.
Yeah.
It's like painting a donkey with stripes and calling it a zebra. You still have a donkey, and I'm using
for sure
language for that.
For sure. I think like usually on social media, it's the people complaining. It's the equivalent of people complaining about the peanuts when the problem is the pilot. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
they concentrate on the minuscule little things, but not so much on the big picture. To answer Williams, well, I did answer Williams'
Hmm.
question there. To Murico Suave, look, the situation with Cara is the following. They've been trying to shop him. They have tried to see if anybody in MLS is interested. So far, they haven't been successful at that because obviously, you gotta eat that big contract that he has. I think at the end of the day, if we can send him back to Europe, just buy him out. Buy him out. Call it for what it is. It's a failure. And if you have ever worked hiring people, if you have been a manager of staff, you know that sometimes people come in, and I have been part of the hiring team in my company where I sit down and they sort of try to what you think about this guy, get the feel for the guy, whatnot. And the fact of the matter is some people are great interviewers, and you bring them on board and they crap the bed and they're not what you need. And there's some people that a lot of people may be on the fence in the interview, and then you bring them on board and they're great. There's that's how it is. And we got this one wrong, and that's okay. That's okay. Not every signing is going to be a blockbuster signing. Even if you look at the most successful teams in the world, they bring people that just doesn't work out, and that's perfectly okay. We're humans. We people come in with expectations. Players present their highlight reel, which obviously they're gonna show you their best season, their best plays. Unfortunately for Erchan Kara, I feel bad for the kid. He has a kid on the way. He's married. My understanding is his wife is back in Australia, which already tells me that he's just throwing in the towel with Orlando City. And to our guest, we'll bring him on here in a second. The fact of the matter is that I just don't think that is conductive to good camaraderie acting that way. And I play sports as a kid, but the best example that I have about team building was when I served in the United States Navy, and I had to produce results with a bunch of guys from different parts of the country, different cultures, different religions, different upbringing, different everything. The one thing that united us all is we walked to the same recruiting station, we wore the same uniform, and we were citizens of the same country. That's it. And some of my closest relationships and friendships happen in active duty. And why? Because the military fosters this attitude that the team comes first, that all pettiness is put to the side. And listen, I know, and all of you guys that have served know how this is true. I knew of people that hated each other's guts, that couldn't stand each other. But we were on the clock, baby. Woo! It was cranking time. So with that said, one comment, and then we go to our guest, John. If you can do the favor.
Yeah, John Ames. There are rumors that Hazard or Sergio Ramos are linked to Inter Miami. Is there any leaks to that rumor?
I have not heard anything. So,
If I mean, I saw them. They're gonna say, "Oh, this guy's gonna go as a non-DP." That guy's. If they do, cool. 5 years down the line, they'll find out Miami was doing something sketchy. Other than having the wheelchairs lined up outside of the locker room just to get the guys from the locker room to the pitch at that
look, we all know that people
dumpster
like to retire in
facility that
Miami
they have.
Beach.
Yeah,
We all know that. So in Miami, retirement, Miami FC wants to do their thing. Let them have it. This league is for young men. So
yeah.
people like
And
Sergio.
honestly, what they're doing is they're knocking the league back, 10, 15 years
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
being a retirement league, which is doing a
Absolutely.
great job of not. And if those guys want to go down to a fake stadium, fake fans, and you know have their time in the sun, cool. But when their legacies are tarnished, Messi, you're not going to tarnish his legacy much because of all that he's accomplished.
Until he
But
plays Orlando City in September, he's gonna be
when
humiliated.
those guys get bodied by a bunch of guys that nobody's heard of all around the league, not just in Orlando, that when Duncan McGuire, a kid from Nebraska, bodies up against Ramos and makes Ramos look silly. Sorry.
That's it. So let's go ahead and bring out our guest. William, you're on the capo stand, my friend.
Hold on,
Welcome.
man.
How you guys doing today?
Doing
Good.
good, brother.
All right. Any questions to lead?
Well, what's your thoughts, brother? What we had 2 games this past weekend. Thoughts on the performance and the situation with Oscar Pareja?
Well, I'm always Papi out, like you said, unless there's he proves us wrong, like we said before. Not for personal reasons, just to keep it clear. About the games, I went to both. I was there. I think it was the performance that we expected. I mean, for like I said, like I always talk like a supporter, and it's not. I'm not a cheerleader, so I expect them like. It's like when we play against Charlotte. I think the first couple games at home, yeah, we expected them to beat Charlotte and they lost. It's like that kind of thing that just kind of disappoints you. In this case, it wasn't the case. Not to be redundant. So we were able to pull off what we expected would happen. So I wanted to just point some players out. Just not trying to be negative again. I always come off as negative. I don't want to be that guy, but I always like to have that reality check when it comes to Orlando. I think the only complaints I have consistently, it's always what's his name, the one I always I always talk about, Ojeda. Yeah, Ojeda. I think he's consistent for me that he's non-existent in the pitch, or he doesn't have a clear idea what he's doing. I mean, he did give an assist. It could have been his goal, but I guess he figured that he wouldn't be able to. He just passed it around. So for me, he's consistent in his bad performance. And another person I wanted to, I guess he improved from one game to the other. So I'm talking about the Saturday game, DDT. Him, when I first saw him, because he played more than before in the Chicago game. It seems like he doesn't have an idea how to move up. Like he always goes up, then he gets surrounded, and then he turns around, and and like it halts the play. Like he doesn't know how to pass the ball forward and stuff. He improved over on the Toronto game, but also I don't, I'll take it at face value just because Toronto was like out of place. I think it was the Heat or something. Like they just seemed off. Like from the first minute, you could tell that they were just.
It was an awful day, man. It was super muggy and hot.
Yeah. So we just take our face value. Most of the players' performance, like I say, we just have to have that reality check. We can just
William with Dagger Dan. To me, what you're saying is you're right, but do you think it's more coaching or is it the way he plays? Because if you look at like what Torres does, Torres gets stopped and he turns around. Anybody in the midfield kind of takes the ball up, and once they're out of dribbling room, instead of looking for options forward, they immediately turn it around and pass it to either the defensive midfielder or one of the center backs that are behind them. So do you think it's a coaching thing or just the way the guys that we brought in play?
When it comes to DDT, I think it's a bit of both because it seems like he, like in the coaching section of the question, it seems like he's out of position. It seems like he plays a CDM position over a winger. Like that's what he's been playing. I would personally put Petrarca. He's fine now. I don't know. It just seems like attacking it would just be better, like a little bit more ideal. I would replace Cartagena for DDT instead because I just think it's a better fit for me. I mean, the way it seems like he plays.
Mhm.
Because he hogs the ball fine. Like that's why when he turns around, he knows how to move the ball and just keep possession. Because he's defensive, he's not attacking. So that's why I said these things. And as for the player, because since it's not his position, then he just tries to improvise, and he does it well. It's just that his position is an attacking position, not
Yeah,
defensive.
yeah. In my opinion, with Dagger Dan with DDT is he's our diamond in the rough. He came from the Icelandic league. And let's be honest here, it's a country of 250,000 people. Okay, let's just be honest. The national team that went to the World Cup, those are guys that play in bigger European countries.
Mhm.
So I think with him, what they have seen his potential. He's a young kid. He's a team player. Unlike other players that we have on the roster, he understands his role. He understands. He makes a meal out of whatever minutes he gets, and obviously he showed us that. To me, great soccer IQ, great football IQ. He realized that the goalkeeper was in no man's land. Awful decision by Radjensen to leave his line. I felt that he could have defended better had he stayed put. But at the end of the day, he scored a goal, and that's what we need. I think from some of the guys that are coming off the bench, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a work in progress. We're sort of building the airplane as we're flying it with some of these guys, and but no valid assessment of him. Will, but again, we forget the kid came from a league that has less people than Osceola County. You know what I mean? That's how it is. I think you know the Icelandic player doesn't get a lot of recognition or a lot of love. Those guys play really hard. I don't know if you guys remember when we had the friendly against the Icelandic League champion a few years back. You guys remember that? And Well, we beat them up really bad. They gave us a war, and that's what I like. And again, for those guys to come down here, this is it's a country in the Arctic Circle, so whatever when the temperature here is in the 70s, they probably think it's an inferno. So I think he's adapted very well. The guy's learning Spanish so he can communicate better with his teammates. I think that's an incredible commitment. The guy's actually taking classes, by the way. He's taking classes after work, after practice. He's taking classes, and don't be surprised if he's fluent. By the way, the other Viking, Robin Jansen, is already fluent enough to be talking trash to other players. So I think that's impressive. That's impressive. Yeah, because you could take it two ways, guys. You could say, hey, this guy, I don't get these guys, whatever. I'm just here to play the ball, the game. It's any language you can get it, or you can learn who your teammates are, and by the way, that forces your teammates to say, oh well, he's making an effort. Maybe I need to make an effort to improve my English skills as well.
No,
So
it also tells the supporters that he doesn't have any plans to go anywhere.
thank you, Will. That's absolutely right, brother. Now, I want to hear your opinions on this. John already sort of laid the groundwork for his opinion on this. The situation with Oscar Pareja. Um, a listener of the show stopped me yesterday and asked me, "Are you still Papi out?" And my opinion on that was, yes, I still am because I feel that we're in a plateau
Yep.
where we're not gonna get any worse, but we're not gonna get any better. We're seeing teams around us making movements towards that. As much as you hate to admit it, Inter Miami has made an incredible signing in Tata Martino as a manager. Uh, a lot of people say, "Well, he fell with Barcelona, he fell with
Argentina.
Mexico," but again, those are those are the big names, right? That people are paying attention to. No, if you ask those people, did you know that he won the MLS Cup with Atlanta United? That they don't know that. You know,
Mhm.
they don't know that. So we are seeing that, and we're seeing in our league making moves. The Messi thing, listen, this is just a move to sell T-shirts. Messi probably can come here, score some goals, blah blah blah, whatever. But let's not kid ourselves. When Messi has to play 17 home games in that muggy heat in Miami and jump on an airplane to go to Vancouver, go to Seattle, go to Portland, and go to Colorado and go to all these places, he has not been tested like that. And I'm not saying this because I'm a hater or whatever. Listen, Messi's a fantastic player. The fact of the matter is that he's gonna once he tastes the bitter from the bitter chalice of MLS, then we'll talk about it. Going back to Oscar Pareja again, I think that with Oscar Pareja's contract expiring in December, this is our opportunity to go and shop around and explore our opportunities to get better. I have said it before, and thank you, Will, for saying that our assessment or complaints or criticism of Oscar Pareja is never personal. I think he's a fantastic person,
Yeah.
a gentleman, and somebody that deserves our respect. This is why I get upset when people attack us, saying, "Oh, you're Papi, you want him to lose his job." Friends, we are discussing this in football terms. Excuse me, because the reality is as a person, Oscar Pareja, it's a man without blemish. So, Will,
Mhm.
I mean, what needs to happen for you to reconsider and give Oscar Pareja an extension next year?
Well, first we'll be making playoffs. We're in a pretty good spot right now. Um, I mean that's like the minimum that he can do now because I think it's a bit too late to ask for anything else. Just then to get to playoffs and then from there to see how far we can make it in playoffs. If we stay in the same position that we stayed last year, then there has to be a change and just for me to change my opinion. Yeah, it would just be for him to just go at least one match over because it's a different right. It's a different challenge now with the playoffs. It's gonna be a different format. Um, so I'm not really like educated into like what's gonna be this year. Uh,
Mhm.
but just as long as he makes it just a bit further than he did last year, I think at least because I feel like he's getting his senses as in what players to put to play and when to put them. So maybe there is room for improvement next year. It's very optimistic of my part to say that, but I think there is a chance, a small chance. So I think the playoffs will tell us if that's the case. If he improves in playoffs, then we can say okay.
No,
So next year,
absolutely.
yeah, and I expect him to know what kind of players we can get next year.
Okay, fantastic.
So
Saturday,
just
we head
to
out. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, John.
yeah, just to clarify the playoff format. So obviously there's the wild card game where 8 and 9 play each other. So then after that game, you have the top 8. They're split into 2 different pools per conference, so 16 teams total. So when after the wild card game, you have the pool play, round robin, whatever you want to call it, best of 3 matches, and then the top 2 teams from each pool advance to the respective conference semifinals. Then after that, the winners of the conference semifinals go to the conference finals, and then the winners of the conference finals go to the MLS Cup championship, and then obviously the MLS Cup champion after that match. So just to clarify that, so you know,
Oh,
in my opinion, we have to at least make it out of
at least
the min-
semifinals.
I'm sorry.
At least semifinals for me.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, one
Yeah.
and out is not gonna do it for me. Will, before we let you go, my friend,
Okay.
this Saturday we return to Salt Lake City after an absence of 6 years. We haven't played in the altitude and the desert of Salt Lake City. We're visiting Real Salt Lake this coming up Saturday. Big test for the boys, in my opinion. A team that is unequal, a challenging environment. Your your analysis of that, what you are expecting this Saturday.
I expect another win. I don't think we have any more hostile environment than Florida in MLS. I mean, unless you consider snow, but that's like the other spectrum. But when it comes to heat, I think Florida is worse than Utah will be. So I expect another win, or at least a close call, 1-0 or so.
All right, so we'll have to see. All right, Will, thank you again for joining us, my brother. Always
Thank you,
good
Will.
to
Thank you for
see
having me
you.
again.
And I see you're a watermelon eating champion.
You
So
already know.
listen,
I win all the championships.
you win all the time. And my apologies for the cough. It's part of traveling. All right, thank you, Will. Appreciate it, brother.
All right,
All right, bye.
thank you.
All right, John, we have a comment.
Yep. Banjo says thoughts on AC wanting to leave. Looks like he wants to leave at latest end of season. Do we see potential car DP slot to get a solid center back? In my opinion, for a DP spot to go to a center back, it has to be, a 23-year-old Sergio Ramos diamond in the rough type of player. Like a serious game changer. For it just to be, a young version of Antonio Carlos, we kind of already have that on our roster with our other first round draft pick. I can't think of his name right now. Do you remember his name, David?
The guy from Syracuse.
I believe so. Wasn't it him?
Yeah, I think so. Also, let's not forget Williams and my apologies.
Williams and OCB. Yep. So, we already, in my opinion, we already have young replacements for him. Schlegel's still here. Schlegel's can be a quality
Schlegel is
replacement.
under 24 years old, my friends.
Yep, exactly. So, there's the guys there. If we were able to find somebody that qualifies for that and will exceed, an MLS spot after 2 or 3 seasons here, absolutely. But if it's just for a, young Antonio Carlos, we'd be better using it on a more attacking player, in my opinion.
We got to score goals. My DPs, I remember on the Cleon scale, which I judge all DPs. DPs have to be goal scorers, game changers, and starters. Something Erchan Kara isn't right now.
Yep. So the player I was thinking about was Abdi Salim.
There you go. Thank you very much. We got a comment, John.
Vixen asking Kamal Miller, Syracuse. Now,
Kamal Miller came from Syracuse. Listen, Syracuse is a factory of football talent in this country. It is, bar none. So, and I believe they're the current NCAA champions, if I'm not mistaken. So, again, next draft you're gonna see top talent out of Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
Second to Syracuse, I will have to say UConn. And you know what? Not for nothing, UCF is developing some talent. Unfortunately, they haven't hit it big. But listen, there's a lot of great players in the NCAA. We have been fortunate to have drafted some big names, DK, Laren, Larea. They have come out of the college game, and to be quite honest with you, I expect. And by the way, listen, Jacqueline is burning fields this MLS next season. You guys saw the boys came back down 3-1 against FC Cincinnati 2, and they won it 5-4 or 5-3, I believe.
That was a crazy game. David and I were on a call so I can be set up for Monday, and he had it on in the background and I had it on in the background, and he started saying something, and it was what was it, 3-2, and then
Yeah,
I
it's like 10
David,
minutes,
it's
right?
4-3.
Yeah. They scored like 4 goals in like a 10 minutes. It was insane. So good for the boys. If you are not watching OCB, you should. You should. We have great talent there that is being developed. We have. Go ahead, John.
Kevin Reese, hey David.
Yes, my main
Wasn't
man.
it Kevin that was on OC Fan TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin.
So we haven't received the Mars bars yet. So
We haven't received payment,
Facundo's still
Kevin.
playing, still a lion for now.
Go by the offices at the Lamex Stadium and tell them that I send you. We need to receive payment. And if anything, we'll take some Boro burgers straight off. Okay, at the just down payment. Let's see here who we got.
William Aguilar, Carr is you either die here or live long enough to be the villain of Orlando City.
Yeah, buddy, on the nose.
William added, also, I forgot to mention that if Perea leaves, we will always remember him as a good coach, despite our comments today, just like we did with Uwan when he came back. Listen, David and I said it. Build the man the statue.
Absolutely.
Outside of Exploria Stadium, because he deserves it, as far as Perea is concerned. What that man brought us from is stuff of legends. There's clubs that hope somebody can do that. I mean, look at Miami. They're all in on Tata Martino, giving him, any old player on their last leg they can to make a run at it and sell some T-shirts.
No, absolutely.
Jim D. Would love to see a true badass DP number 10 brought in if Carr goes.
Listen, at this point, I'll take expired boss pass and $1.50 discount at McDonald's for this kid. He has to, listen. He has to go if the attitude is like that. I'm telling you, I was embarrassed for him, and I had witnesses. Our boy David Hunt and Danny Phillips, they were there. And by the way, before I forget, before we keep looking at the comments, I met the team chaplain, Pastor. If you are watching this, thank you very much for the kind words. I hope that you have seen the best of me, because obviously the embarrassing parts, well, I'm embarrassed about those. All right, so last 2 comments.
Kevin Reese says in the post. For those that don't know what that means, the mail. And then laughing.
Oh yeah. Because no, Karen, I'm serious. Some Boro burgers will do it, brother. I seen them on social media, and I already know the first thing I do when I go to Stevenage next spring is get myself a Boro burger and a pint at the Mutual. At the Mutual, that's the pub of choice for the Stevenage Ultras. We got Vixen, our friend Vixen. You're on the Capo stand. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Sweet. Nice.
Brother.
Nice. A few things I would like to say. Before I forget, the comment what my friend William made about Lucas Petrasso, playing more up. So a little backstory behind him. He was a left wing / attacking mid before Lorenzo Insigne and Bernardeschi came in the July of last year. And since when they came in, the coach of Toronto made him become a left back, and hence him playing left back for Orlando City. But I don't think he was really happy when to play a different position. Mm-hmm. And comes to Orlando to another team to play left back again, it was like, oh man. But then when I saw him, I went to the Chicago game, and they played him up front in the Chicago Fire game, and I thought he did great. And I think he would do a lot better playing up front than he would for playing left back, just like the good old days before Lorenzo Insigne and Bernardeschi ruined his chances of progressing as a left winger and center attacking mid for Toronto FC. So that's why when I saw him play against them, I was in my head he was probably thinking oh, if only I could cause you the pain that you cause me, and then just score something And what? Oh, in that game, I'm part Peruvian, and as you can see here, I'm part Peruvian, and my boy Cartagena shouldn't be treated that way. And I saw Gallese, who I think should be captain over Pereira. That's just my opinion.
Mhm.
He's also older than Pereira, if I'm not mistaken, and by like a month or so. And
Yeah.
I saw Gallese like come up and save like Cartagena and like talk to Bernadeschi to see, and then he got a yellow card for it. And yeah, no, yeah, that wasn't cool what Bernadeschi did. So that should even be a yellow. That should be an automatic red.
It should have been absolutely no, absolutely.
When I saw that second yellow, I'm like, shouldn't that be a red?
I know that the first yellow that he got, in my opinion, should have been a red.
Oh,
It was
yo,
very
I
close.
was
When I
just
saw the
talking about
replay, it
close
was
tackle.
very, very close.
Mhm.
Atrocious tackle, and the fact that it was reviewed and somebody thought that was cool to go on, it's outrageous. It's just obscene.
Mhm.
But to go back on Pedro, Pedro's super happy here. And
Yeah, a lot happier than last year.
no, absolutely. Obviously, he's making more money. But on a personal note, if I may, obviously we don't like to go on those things, but I think it's pertinent to the conversation. Pedro came here on the verge of a divorce. He was in a really bad spot personally. As a player, he was in a tough moment, and here he had a rebirth. He had a rebirth because our manager gave him an opportunity. Our manager, again, we criticize Oscar Pareja for the things that he does wrong, but let's praise him for the things that he does right. He has crafted a locker room of church-going married men, and the single guys got to follow suit. When was the last time that we had people getting arrested for DUIs, which happened here 3 times in this club? People getting arrested for domestic violence, people getting arrested for underage drinking. Okay, and there's a lot of things that I'm not gonna that I have the privilege of knowing that I'm gonna keep to myself because they are not. We're not here to destroy the good name of people, but in 2016 to 2017, this club was in shambles. Off the pitch, we looked like a mess. I mean, we had players here fist fighting after defeats in the locker room. We have players cursing each other out on the pitch while the game is going on. So I think that what Oscar Pareja has brought to this club is consistency and pride on the colors. That we go out there, we do what we do. That's why the situation with Kara to me is one that needs to be addressed immediately. So that said, with Pedro, Pedro's a new man, and he has translated to success with the national team. And his marriage is better than ever. His kids love it here, and you know what they say. John and I are in relationships. I don't know, Vixen, but the fact is if the lady of the house is happy, we're happy. That's how it works, right? And Pedro's doing fantastic. So as if he should be captain, absolutely. I think for my taste, while Mauricio has experience, has played in bigger stages, he's very mild mannered for my
I think
life.
he played in the Europa League too.
Yeah,
Mistaken.
absolutely. Like I said, I'm not taking away anything away from this young man, but the fact of the matter is that after having Kaká and having Nani, to me, Nani's the standard which I judge all future captains. My captain has to inspire men to go to hell and back holding gas cans full. That's how we have to look at it. And seeing Nani this past Saturday, the stadium, I don't know, guys. I was foaming out the mouth because I'm gonna tell you the truth. If Nani wants to do it, give it another try, and the club wants to throw away a couple of $100,000, I'll take him right now. Right now.
Yeah. He was at the stadium for the Chicago Fire game. He was in his suite.
No, he wasn't for the 4th of July, was it? Yeah, 4th of July. 4th of July.
Yeah.
Also yesterday.
And yes, and Urso as well.
Oh, what? Oh, I didn't know they were both there.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Also is making wanting a comeback to MLS and
yeah,
wearing the number,
no,
right? So
So,
I was
Vixen, my
scared.
favorite thing that Gillespie did yesterday when he went up and confronted after Cartagena was taken off was you saw them get separated, and then I couldn't see his mouth, but I know he was just sitting there. If it was in English, would have did the snarky bye bye type of thing because you
Mhm.
saw him kind of wave like
Yeah.
this to the
No,
Toronto player.
he likes to do that.
Yeah.
He did that in the Montreal Impact game, regular season game away. He did it to Romel Kyoto.
oh yeah, I remember that.
And he knows Spanish.
Throwing
He
kisses.
he knows Spanish, and he did that to Romel Kyoto in the 87th minute, 89th minute, because he had just came off the bench, and like the
Okay.
coach had told Kyoto just came off the bench, and the coach told Kyoto like do everything you can to score, and then like Augustus is just there like giving him a hard time, and no, that's a captain. Like I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know, like that's what I'm saying. Like I know people disagree with me when I say that, but that I want to see somebody to protect the badge in a form, and that's what he eventually did, in my
No, for
opinion.
sure.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think next year we're gonna have a new captain. I don't see us renewing Mauricio Pereira's contract.
Mm,
Besides, it's not actually a contract. He's being extended. I think his performance has gone down. The last two games missing in front of goal Cesaro,
yeah,
in my opinion. And
yeah,
again, he leaves with our gratitude, our respect. But
totally.
I think H is catching up with the man. If I can be quite honest with you guys. So Vixen, this Saturday we're heading out to Salt Lake City.
Yeah,
Uh, we first time playing there in 6 years.
indeed.
Altitude, desert heat, and a very hostile crowd. Your expectations for the boys this Saturday?
I think uh I think that we'll get scored on one goal by I'm gonna say it's Krelak and with an assist from Luna, but we're gonna win it with 2 goals. One from being Duncan McGuire, and the other one I'm gonna throw a Antonio Carlos header in there,
Oh wow, look at that!
or like a defender header, like a Johnson
No,
header.
no, yeah, that will be great.
Yeah,
I have to tell you, Duncan McGuire is on fire right now. You got to play the heavy hand, and
yeah,
we already mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. He's up for an SP award. The man was chosen as the NCAA Player of the Year
yeah.
for two, and the fact of the matter is that this is why America is so great, people. We pay nothing to develop this player. We pay nothing to scout this player. We pay nothing to sign this player, and yet we're gonna be making some money out of this cat. That's that's why, in my opinion, the college draft still has a place. That is not what they do in Europe. You know what? They do a lot of things in Europe that we should be doing, like pitch invasions after championships, but we don't do them. So listen, we have to at some point we have to put the Americana on the we got to put our flavor of stamp. And in my opinion, the college draft has a place, and Duncan McGuire is making a case for it because I don't know about you guys, but the last time any football player, any footballer came out of Nebraska, I don't know. This kid came out of nowhere. This corn fed kid
Yeah.
I'm telling you, is gonna become a legend.
Mhm.
Anything else, Vixen? Since we're gonna be wrapping it up here in a minute.
Yeah, two things. One thing I want to say that it shows that Mauricio Pereira did not recover well, like from his injury. Like his mode is still going down. Like we thought that he was gonna go back to his old self, but he seems a little bit iffy there in the midfield. And thing number two, I would like to ask you guys. I saw like a week or two ago. I was in Colombia, and when I was there, I saw that Gallese was rumored to go to Getafe. What's the update on that one?
John, if
So
you have
let's
more,
say it was 100% a rumor. It was
Oh, so
something.
it's nothing to
Yeah,
worry
it
about.
was false. I believe it was Gillespie's agent came out and put a statement and said, no, he's here in Orlando. He's not going anywhere. If he goes,
Oh, for sure.
Man, that's great. That's the second time that a team that I know of because I tried to go after him because I think somebody in South America, like Boca Juniors or something, wanted to sign him. And then again, I heard that same thing that that was a total lie.
I gotta tell you, the Peruvian press is probably throwing those rumors because they like him, and again, Europe is always gonna be the gold standard. Oh, if a player plays there, he's good.
Mhm.
The fact, and I know this from good sources, and you don't have to, if you follow Area Sports Network or several of the Peruvian reporters that cover Orlando City, they will tell you. Fact is that he's happy here. Pedro's happy here. His family's happy here. His kids have been going to school here. I mean, again, they're growing roots, and for a father, it's his priority is his family. Financially, he's secure. They're living in a great place, and they're growing roots. And if for those of us that have kids, you understand that if your kids are happy, your wife is happy, you don't destroy that dynamic, because for the kids it's very tough. I know that there was an interview that did Tonani when he went to Italy with Venezia, and he said that it was very tough for his son because every so many years they're moving, and they grew very attached to Orlando. That's the thing, and after they had to leave, then it was very tough on them. So that's those are facts, my friends. Gales is happy here, and he's gonna be here for a while. So, all right, my friend Vixen, thank you for joining us. And what's this watermelon eating finalist?
William beat me to it, man. It wasn't easy.
Yeah, you guys are killing it. Hey, my brother, thank you again for joining us. Hopefully next Monday we'll do the same for John, as I am taking a well-deserved break. So thank you, my brother, and hopefully you get to talk about a win when you come back. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
All right, my brother. Thanks again.
Thanks, Vixen.
All right, guys.
Real quick, David, he reminded me when he brought up the Mauricio's injury. Some news today came out on Twitter that Gaston Gonzalez, when he hurt his upper leg a couple matches ago, that it was just a leg injury. He was back in practice the next week, but then he had a more severe left leg injury, and he's out at least a month. Obviously, maybe more than a month is what came out today.
Can't catch or break this kid.
No.
Oh my goodness, that's really sad. One of his family members reached out to me on Instagram, asking me if he was going to be playing because she said, "Hey, things are tough financially, so I want to make sure that if I'm going to buy the pass to watch him on TV, that he's going to get to play." So. And sadly, I had nothing but bad news to deliver. So we're wishing him the best. I think this super talented guy. He just God willing, he's gonna get healthy and that way give us what he can. Because I saw him with Unión de Santa Fe, and for those that remember, Nachito Sanchez. Podcaster, B team narrator on the radio, beat writer. This guy has like 5 jobs. He contacted me when we were trying to sign him. I had a video recording of his father saying how much money we pay for him and all that. This is months before, and I went to the team, somebody in the team, and said, "Hey, I got this. Is this true?" First thing is like, well, where the hell do you get this stuff, David? Well, people like me. I like to talk. What can I say? Let's read some comments here.
One more before that, David.
There we go. Oh, one more before that. Okay. Yep.
Kevin Reese, great to see us looking more like a team this week. So much improved since May. car just doesn't fit.
Yeah, and Kevin, I don't know where you were sitting at, my friend. I know you told me that you were gonna be at the game, and I missed you. And I actually wasn't sitting on my section. I took the invitation to join David in the upper deck on the south side, and that's where I had front row to Kara's antics.
He
Burger and
continued
pints.
burger and a pint with 2 thumbs up.
You know what they say? Burger and pint keeps the doctor away, right? That's how it goes. Something like that.
John Ames. I would have liked Joseph Martinez to have come to Orlando after Atlanta.
He's finished. He's finished.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if I can be honest with you guys, would have you taken a guy that won the Golden Boot? Of course. The fact is that Miami decided to eat the $2 million plus dollars a year salary for this guy, and it's not working out. And don't be surprised if Joseph Martinez finds himself in the unemployment line come December. You heard it from me first. Oh, okay, that's typo, I guess it was correcting.
Jared Quackenbush just tuning in. Hello, gentlemen. Happy 4th. Happy 4th, Jared.
All right, Jared. Happy for her. Hopefully, you had a good Fourth. And I have to say this: the 4th of July. This was the 247th birthday of our republic. Not a perfect country, but the best there is because it's ours. And on days like this, let's remember the men and women serving in uniform that make it happen. I was one of those guys at one point. I remember 1996 in Cannes, France, celebrating the 4th of July, looking at Old Glory flying from the mast of our aircraft carrier and promising myself I will never spend another 4th of July away from home. I have kept that promise since. So, this is a moment to, one group of Orlando City fans that never get any love is all our active duty service members that take the love for the game and the love for this club throughout the worldwide. So if you are watching this and you're one of them, thank you. Hopefully you'll come home safe and sound soon and catch a game at Exploria. Thank you for what you do, and we love you. And thank you for not only serving our nation, but being part of the greatest fan base worldwide, Orlando City. Jared, he has another comment.
Yep. Brought my entire family to the match. We all had a great night. Vamos Orlando, more of this style of soccer, please.
Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. This past weekend, John, as we wrap things up, was a banquet for this fan base to see lots of goals, lots of goals, great games. Again, it was a fantastic moment for us as we head out to Salt Lake City. A city that I'm very familiar with. I worked for a company, an Israeli medical laser company that their headquarters was in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I spent some quality time there. And unfortunately, the one time that I could have catch one Orlando City team, which was the Pride when they played in Salt Lake City, my meeting ran too long and I missed it. So, the opportunity for me to see an Orlando City team away escaped my hands. But it's, I got to tell you, the Salt Lake City Valley, it's a rough place to play. And it's going to be a war. It's going to be a war, boys. It's going to be a war. It's altitude masked with that dry desert heat. And anybody that has been to Salt Lake City knows that it's gonna be tough. It's not the heat that we're used to in Orlando, very humid. This is gonna kill your lungs if you're not careful. So to me, this is the game that is gonna solidify if Oscar Pareja indeed has turned it around or we were just playing scrubs. In my opinion, that's the defining moment for me. And after that, obviously. Too soon to talk about it, but we're going to be going to Atlanta. Those are the games we got to win. We got to win those games. We're going to be home for the Leagues Cup, a tournament that the management, the ownership, has declared it's a standard for Oscar Pareja to measure with. If he doesn't do good here, he may have a toe out the door. So I mean, let's just be honest here. He has to win. He has to win now. We're in good position, John. We're in good position going to this match.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City, they're on a good run. They're fourth in the West. Your expectations about this Saturday?
I honestly think we should win, and win relatively easy. I mean, Salt Lake City's only sitting on 30 points. They've given up 31 goals this year, and they've only scored 26. Anytime you play a team that has a more than a negative 1 or 2 goal differential, pretty good chance. That favors your team pretty well, especially with our attacking form the last 2 games. I really want to believe, even though I'm still Poppy out, want to believe that he's found that missing key to the lock that unlocks the potential of this team. And I could see us winning pretty easily on Saturday if our form continues, if the players come out, play together, play those quick passes like they were playing, move the ball down the field as a team, score as a team like we did, and have sound defending. I know that sounds like a lot, but you look at the last 2 games, that's what we've done. Yes, it's been lesser talent, but guess what? Use those as warm-up games and use it as a springboard to essentially the second half of the season, where you're going to have a little bit of a break from league play, so it's not going to be as much pressure on the team to win games, because in my opinion, Leagues Cup's just a money grab for the 2 leagues, and why interrupt the season for that when you're not willing to interrupt it for official international breaks. So I want us to win because I'm a supporter, but if we don't, I'm going to take it with the positive of, hey, guess what? We get a couple weeks off, take it to rest up, get everybody in better conditioning, better shape. You get to take off till late August. And we have a chance to go into the Leagues Cup, and like I said at the beginning of the program, 4th place if we win both. So real positive time right now, real exciting time, and I really hope the team's able to use these last 2 matches to get a head start for the rest of the season.
No, absolutely. And before we read the last comments, I want to give a shout out to our good friend Daniel Berich up in England. He is a Orlando City, UK member, and his channel on YouTube is at Daniel Berich 44, the English Lion. He has B-roll and post and pre match interviews, great content. Go support him. Right now he has 347 subscribers. A shame. We should be supporting this warrior that from 5 time zones away supports the Lions and Orlando Pride, and he provides content. And John, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I would like for our Twitter feed to retweet his content, because it's
always if I miss it, it's a mistake on my part, but I always
no, absolutely, my friend.
Like and retweet his stuff, because
yes,
him and Taylor, also a part of Orlando City, UK,
absolutely,
are gracious enough to tag us anytime they post it.
Mm-hmm.
So I always try to return the favor and like and we retweet their stuff on the podcast's account as well as my personal account. But yeah, that's great content. Both of them try to stay up. If it's a game in Orlando or on the East Coast, 3 a.m. I think by the time
It's
the game gets
12:30
going.
kickoff if it's 7:30 Eastern. So this coming up game is 2:30 a.m. for them. So and they're faithful on that. So let's go ahead and support them. I wanna throw a shout out to
Definitely.
my friend Tom Lord over there in Bolton, England. Orlando City faithful. He's gonna be here in September after since 2019, the last time this man took a Orlando City game live. He's super excited. He keeps telling me every day. So there you go. There you go, Tom. There's your shout out, my friend. Let's read this last comments, John, and we don't have to go home, but we gotta get out of here. Let's see here. I think this one. Tell me if we read this one already.
Yeah, we have not read that one. William Aguilar, all in all, I'm glad we won our last game before sailing since we won't see Orlando at home for the next 3 weeks. Absolutely. Vixen, I'm going to the Atlanta game, and the game for me to stop St. Pereira out is a win at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And I would like for him to do it in front of my face.
From your lips to God's ears, Vixen. Let's see here. Next one.
Jared Quackenbush, I'm hopeful for next match. RSL has only won 2 home games all year. They've been worse at home than us. Thank you, Jared. That was a stat. When I was at work, I had a little bit of downtime right before the end of the day, so I took down almost a page full of notes and realized it was time to leave work. Got all my stuff, ran to the car, was on my way home, and got about 10 minutes from my house and went, I forgot my notebook at work. So thank you for bringing that up. William Aguilar, I'll be at the Atlanta game away. Is John going to be there? It'd be nice to join the supporters for this one. I unfortunately won't be there with a little one and just started a new job. It's kind of hard to get a lot of days off. I would have loved to have been there. The next away game I'll be at hopefully will be Cincinnati. Labor Day weekend. I got family. That's where my family's from and still lives. So I should be up there visiting family and everything, and we'll be going to the match against FC Cincinnati up there almost.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic. And not for nothing, Cincinnati has a beautiful stadium. So
I can't wait to see it. It's something when I was younger I always wanted, always was hungry for. Moved to Orlando, and Orlando got a team first and fell in love with Orlando City. So that's why.
No, I hear you. You're not the only one. My wife is a native from New York City, but she loves Orlando City, and that's it. Looks like we have somebody back on the as a guest. Let me. I don't know who this person is, so fingers crossed. Let's go see who it is and wrap it up quick because your boy is running on fumes. I'm really tired. Let's go see who it is.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. I was just trying to get on the stream a little bit earlier, but yeah. No. I watched the podcast and yeah. I was just watching it and I'm John. I tend to comment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. John. Good deal, brother. Well, let me introduce you because it says here watermelon eating semifinalist, and I like this guy pulling my leg or what? So you're on the capo stand, John. So what do you want to talk about?
No, not much because I know you guys are about to wrap up and hopefully we can get a win against Real Salt Lake. But yeah, just in general, just gonna support Orlando, right, and see what happens, right? Like it seems little by little the team is starting to get momentum going into the upcoming matches and hope everything goes. Hopefully we make it to the playoff and everything goes well. But yeah, I'm just gonna just trying to go to more Orlando City games this season, hopefully.
Well, the boys need you.
What?
The boys need you. You gotta go.
Yeah. I don't tend to go much, but I definitely want to go more often to the stadium. So hopefully I can, with my friends, we can go, or like with my family, we can just go and support.
Good deal.
Definitely, it's a fun time.
Next week, call us earlier so we can talk much about Orlando City.
Yeah.
My apologies, John, because I right now I've been up since 3 a.m. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on, brother. Okay, so hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Take care of yourself. And
All right.
yeah, see you next week.
Thank you, my
John.
brother.
Take care. Take care.
Appreciate it. And last two comments here before I collapse.
Med Salim, hey all, just joining, hoping we can keep up performance against the better teams. Your thoughts? Absolutely, Ahmed.
Yeah, for sure. And Ahmed is gonna be joining John while I'm on vacation. Ahmed, don't let me down, brother.
Ahmed, I'll hit you up. I'll just let you know. We'll be in touch before the next show so we can get particulars straight, and then we'll have a good show together.
Yeah, for sure. So next Monday, Ahmed Salim and John, the duo nobody asked for, but everybody needs. And last one,
Vixen. I hope you have a great time in Cincinnati, John. Vamos, Orlando. I'm
absolutely.
sure I will. The Orlando City win that we're going to have against Cincinnati at the time to get within 6 points of them will be fantastic, and we'll start scaring them a little bit, hopefully.
No, absolutely, my friend. And I just want to thank everybody that is listening to our audio. We are on every platform where you consume your podcast in audio form. In fact, many people tell me that's the best way to consume the podcast because they're listening to it in the gym, when they go to work, when they're driving to and from work. Thank you very much for everybody that lends us an ear, and for everybody that was live. Thank you very much, everybody that's just gonna watch this later on. Excuse me, on YouTube. Thank you very much for everybody that watched us on Twitch, on Facebook, on Twitter, on what else? On Facebook, Twitch. I don't know. I don't think I have mentioned that. Thank you very much. We do this again. We don't do it for the money. And we don't do it for the views. We do it because we love the club and we want to share that with as many people as possible. So tell a friend about us. Share our show. Just share on social media. Let people know that there's a podcast here where you're free to come along. You can disagree with us and still be heard. Again, this is a platform for the fans. John, any last words before we go?
Yeah, just to add on what you're saying. If you guys have a suggestion, you want to see us do something a little different, do something a little bit more something brand new. If you don't, somebody that doesn't like to comment and want to remain kind of, behind the curtain a little bit, feel free to DM us and, we'll bring your suggestion or your question, onto the show, and you can, remain anonymous. But, yeah, other than that, let's, we hope the boys keep going in their current form and, brings home a W, brings home the 3 points on Saturday night.
Absolutely. Thank you for being with us this last 90 minutes. Next week, John and Ahmed are going to be manning the fort. Your boy, after spending the next 2 days here in Boston, is going to be going home. And then after that, going to Puerto Rico for a week, recharge the batteries, and come back. And guess what? From Puerto Rico, I'm going to be watching the game against Real Salt Lake, expecting 3 points, and support our boys on Monday. And I will be back the week after that to talk about Atlanta United. We'll see how that goes. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for everything. May God bless you. Before we go, we say goodbye to you the only way we know how, reminding you that football is for those that don't mind having their mouth smashed and their hearts broken. From John and myself, may God bless you, and as always, vamos Orlando.